Members, we'll call to order the Committee on Jobs and Economic Development. It is Monday, February 13th. Today we have a full agenda, and we'll be hearing Senate File 607, Senate File 643, 804, 686, 921, 568, and Senate File 289. And members and the audience, I just want to remind you, because we have a full agenda, as noted in the committee hearing posting, all testimony will be limited to 2 minutes per testifier. So the whole idea is that each person will build on the other person's testimony and not just simply repeat everything your friend or colleague or ally has said. With that being stated, I'm going to go to Senator Draheim. He's at the table, and he's going to present Senate File 568. And just for clarity, Senator Draheim, it's my understanding that you don't have any testifiers or handouts for this bill. It is a fairly simple language change. Is that right?
Correct.
All right, Senator Draheim, to you, the Senate File 568 is before the committee. Senator Draheim.
Thank you, Chair Champion, and thank you for this hearing on this bill. We use a lot of data to make decisions here at the Senate, and our agencies that help do the good work that we fund as a Senate and a legislative body. And I've worked on this for a few years. I think there's one piece missing when we look at the jobs arena across the state, and that is getting more people to participate in the workforce. And this last year, we had the lowest workforce participation rate that we've had in 40 years. And what I'm suggesting we do for the development funds is start using that as one of the criterias to decide where the funding goes. So if there is a county or an area that has less participation, maybe we need to do something different in that area. Pretty straightforward, Chair. So that's what this bill does.
Thank you, Senator Draheim. So really, it's just to really make sure that we add county labor participation rates to the list of economic indicators that the Minnesota Jobs Skill Partnership Board would use to determine if workforce development funds may be expended to that particular program. Is that right, Senator?
Correct. With 87 different counties, this year we don't have to worry about resources. But in the future, I'm sure we will have tighter budgets, and when we need to kind of hone in my opinion, on the areas that are affected the worst, and I think this helps give clarity to the agency on where we think they should focus their resources on.
Any questions for Senator Draheim? And Senator Draheim, it's my understanding that we don't have a fiscal note, but again, we're going to lay this over for possible inclusion, so if there's anything that we can discuss it later.
Perfect. Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions? Seeing none, we will lay Senate File 568 over for possible inclusion. Thank you, Senator Draheim, for being willing to go out of order. And I'd like to mention that we have a quorum, and a quorum is present. It appears that we have Senator Hur with us now. Senator Hur, we're going to ask you to go to the testifiers table, and we're going to look at Senate File 607. That will be before the body. 607. And as he gets settled, he has a couple of testifiers, two of which will be on Zoom. But Senator Hur, if you have any opening statements, and then we will go to Anna Odegaard, who is with the Minnesota Asset Building Coalition. Senator Hur.
Thank you, Chair Champion. The bill, Senate File 607, appropriates base funding to the Getting to Work Grant Program at DEED. This program makes grants to eligible nonprofits offering low-interest vehicle loans or leases, free or sliding scale vehicle repairs, or donate vehicles to low-income individuals who need a car to get to work. This bill would help low-income member tremendously to those who are eligible. Participant must demonstrate that they need a vehicle to find or keep a job, have a household income at or below 200% federal poverty level, and be at least 18 years old and have a valid driver license and proof of insurance. So, Mr. Chair and members, I have here a testifier to talk further about the program, and I will stand by for question as well and ask for your support.
Thank you, Senator Hurd. Ms. Odegaard, if you will state your name for the record and who you're with, and you can start your testimony. Thank you so much, and welcome to the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. My name is Anna Odegaard, and I'm the director of the Minnesota Asset Building Coalition. I'd like to thank Senator Hurd very much for taking the lead on the Getting to Work bill this year, and also thank the coworkers on this committee, Senator Draheim and Senator Putnam. Each year, I visit with staff at as many of our member organizations as possible. Our coalition is made up of nonprofit members, to talk to them about, what are the challenges in their communities and what they want our coalition to prioritize on our legislative agenda this year. I don't think you'll be surprised that nearly every one of our members brings up the issue of transportation barriers that make it difficult for the clients that they work with to take advantage of work opportunities that would help their family build financial stability. The handout in your packet lists the previous Getting to Work grantees, and I would just like to say that DEED has done a great job of ensuring that these grants support vehicle programs throughout the state. One of the most important components of this program is that it doesn't require organizations to create cookie-cutter programs. Grantees can really design vehicle programs that meet the need of their particular communities. For instance, United Community Action, which serves rural, southwest, and central Minnesota, takes in donated vehicles, partners with local repair shops to get them fixed up so they're reliable, and then accepts referrals from the Central Minnesota Jobs and Training Workforce Center for qualified individuals who have an offer of employment that requires a personal vehicle. In this way, UCAP really uses their Getting to Work grant to organize community resources to support individuals motivated to find employment as a path to self-sufficiency. Another example, the Community Action Partnership of Ramsey and Washington counties offers low-interest car loans to qualified individuals who need a car to maintain steady employment. This is a really critical asset-building opportunity for individuals whose credit score doesn't qualify them for an affordable vehicle loan. Participants are required to complete financial literacy training, demonstrate they can cover the cost of the loan payment and car insurance. And because it's a loan and the organization makes reports to credit agencies, it helps those individuals also build their credit score. The next testifier, LaToya Whitfield, received a vehicle loan through this program, and she's going to talk a little bit about how that benefited her family. After that, Ann McGregor from Valley Action Council is here to testify about a truly innovative use of their Getting to Work grant to assist people in the Mankato area who are ready to save and invest in reliable transportation.
So with that, thank you so very much. And again, I was a little liberal on that 2 minutes there, but I am trying to make sure that you have an opportunity to fully tell us about the program itself. And we will go to Zoom. And we're going to LaToya Whitfield, who is a program participant and clerk at with Ramsey County. Are you able to hear me okay, Ms. Whitfield?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. So for the record, if you'd be so kind as to state your name and who you're with for the record, and then go forward with your testimony. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sure. Good afternoon. My name is LaToya Whitfield, and like Senator Bobby Joe stated, I do currently work as a clerk for Ramsey County. I also serve on the board of Community Action Partnership of Ramsey County and Washington counties. I'm a mother of 3, ages 17, 14, and 4, and we all reside in Ramsey County. I came to learn about the car ownership program by being a board member on the finance committee. I have 2 jobs, and while one is hybrid, my part-time job is servicing clients within the community face-to-face, which means it's vital to have reliable transportation to get back and forth. My household has 1 adult, and I'm responsible for transporting my children everywhere from school functions such as choir, band practices, concerts, and I also volunteer at the nursery in my church 1 Sunday a month in the nursery. Having a reliable car to just live my daily life has been a huge blessing and privilege. The application process is super easy to navigate. Once I submitted the app, I then had to complete and pass a financial literacy course that was part of the requirement. About 3 to 4 weeks after that, I received a letter saying that I was approved, and I could not exceed the amount of $6,000, and I had a time frame of 3 months to then find my vehicle. The car ownership program did provide me with a few names of vendors who they work with in the hopes of helping me find my vehicle. Being a recipient of this program has been a huge stress reliever. Before I applied, I did have a vehicle, but it was beginning to be expensive to keep it maintenance and fixed, so I decided to let it go. I hadn't had a car for about 2 to 3 months before I learned about this program. But not only is it a relief for me, it's for my family, because I was borrowing my sister and her husband's car. Financially, I have had to budget not only my car note, but also the requirement of having full coverage insurance to be able to keep the my part of my contract that I signed. Sorry, I'm trying to get it down to 2. This program works for me with affording me flexible payments, a low interest loan on a nicer vehicle that I have. I have a 7-passenger SUV, as I needed space for me and my 3 kids. I am now in a position to pick up people for whatever daily tasks they have. This program works because it provides funding for people who don't have the means to a lump sum of money to purchase a vehicle. I did agree to share my story because I believe this program can and will help many more residents attain reliable transportation that will allow them to provide even more stability to continue taking care of not only themselves, but their family. I hope
Thank
the
you.
committee will continue to support the Get Into Work grant program.
Ms.
Thank you
Whitfield?
for your opportunity.
Okay, thank you so very much. I think we got the gist of it, so thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Now we will go to Ann McGregor, who's with the Partnership and Development she's a Partnership and Development Coordinator at Minnesota Valley Action Council. Can you hear me okay, Ms. McGregor?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you so much. State your name and where you're from for the record, and then proceed with your 2-minute testimony. Thank you so much.
Okay. I'm Ann McGregor, and I'm with Minnesota Valley Action Council. I'm the Partnership and Development Coordinator. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Minnesota Valley Action Council is the community action agency that serves the 9 counties in South Central Minnesota, and we received a Getting to Work grant in 2022. I appreciate the opportunity to share the impact that the funding has made for our clients and urge you to continue funding the Getting to Work program. As we've noted, owning a vehicle in rural Minnesota is critical as public transportation is limited, and having a reliable transportation means being able to get to work, school, and appointments. So MVAC developed a unique program by leveraging the Getting to Work funds with agency funds and enrolling all of those participants in the Family Assets for Independence program known as FAME. The agency was able to purchase 6 new vehicles and lease them out to the participants who otherwise would not be eligible for financing. They agreed to participate in financial wellness and car maintenance classes and to meet with staff monthly to make their payments. During this visit, staff ensure that they're completing the necessary vehicle maintenance and also check in with them to see if there are any other support or resources that are needed. And this allows them, if they do have an issue that arises, that we can address it before it becomes a crisis. With this program, participants take immediate possession of the vehicle and make affordable monthly payments to MVAC. And a portion of that payment that they make is part of their deposit for their FAME account, so we can assure that that deposit is being made. And then it's matched $3 for every $1 for over 2 years. And this results in a balloon payment that they put towards the principal of the vehicle, paying down that lease even faster. And at the end of the program, the participant owns the vehicle outright. The money that is paid to MVAC on each lease is placed in a revolving fund so that we can use the additional we use that money for additional car purchases to sustain the program, as reliable transportation is the key to employment and upward mobility.
Thank you, Ms. McGregor.
Sorry, yes?
Thank you so much. So you want to end with one last line? Because I think some others have kind of testified to what you were testifying to. So you want to give us one last line before we go to the next testifier?
Just that this program was very necessary in our area, and we were able to make it sustain that program.
All right, thank you so very much. And if there's anything more that you want the committee to know, you can feel free to provide a letter that will be distributed to the members. Members, just so that we're clear, we kind of make sure that folks know that it's 2 minutes per testifier, because we want to make sure that they focus their testimony and not repeat the same things that other people have said. And because we also have a full agenda. Any questions for either the testifiers before I ask a couple questions? All right, so Senator Herr or Ms. Odegaard, it appears that in the past that you got an allotment of $500,000 that was spread over the biennium, so it was $500,000, excuse me, $250,000 each year, which brings us to that $500,000. But now you're asking for $2 million. Can you kind of talk through what your request is as far as money, and how many people did you serve before, and what are you looking, how many people do you expect to serve by asking for an additional $1.5 million? Senator Herr or
Yes,
Senator Odegaard?
Mr. Chair, yes, Senator Odegaard, yeah.
Senator Herr. And
I'd
if-
like to defer to Ms. Odegaard here. I think the progress has, the program has been quite effective, and we want to increase the dollars so it can go for long term. But Ms. Odegaard can, lay out the details for our community members.
Ms. Odegaard.
Thank you, Senator Champion and committee members. So in the second round of grants does not have enough data yet to answer the question about the number of participants served, but the first round of grants was actually only $200,000, and agencies were able to serve just over 400 families with that funding. So we anticipate it would be a similar ratio of families, with one big difference that really gets to your question about the funding. For that level of funding, most of those programs opted to either provide donated vehicles or vehicle repairs, which is less expensive than offering, the CAPA of Ramsey, Washington offers this $6,000 loan. MVAC is offering these leases to make sure people are getting into reliable cars. And so our idea with bumping the funding up is that more agencies would be able to have the capital up front to start either a loan or a lease program. And the real advantage to those programs, besides that folks maybe get a more reliable car, is that funding then is recycled, right? As somebody pays their lease or pays back their loan, agencies are then able to relend those dollars. But it just does take more funding up front to launch a program like that.
Any other questions for the testifier? Senator, Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I don't think your
Just
mic is on there.
Is my mic on? Can you hear me?
Now I
Yeah,
can hear you
all
better.
right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a brief question. Good to see you again, Ms. Odegaard. My question is just, so I understand the mission, support the mission. We want to help people, empower people to be able to get to a job, hold a job, got to have transportation for that. I just have one question, and I also noticed the additional services, one of which needs to be provided, often things that if the recipient is not aware of these issues, it could be, we could prevent them from becoming further independent. So I appreciate the financial literacy education, education on budgeting or vehicle ownership, car maintenance, repair instruction, credit counseling, or job training related to motor vehicle maintenance and repair. So I think that's all a good idea. My question is, does it have to be offered right through this particular work grant program? In other words, could a constituent maybe have a connection with another organization or group that would provide one of these needed things? And I just wanted to make sure that that would be allowed. I would think so, but I'm not clear in the legislation. And we do want to make sure that we're not overly duplicating, but more importantly, that these services are available where and when the clients can best access them.
Ms. Odegaard, to those questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Senator Nelson. Yes, in fact, in our original design of the program, we wanted organizations to partner, we wanted grantee organizations to partner with community organizations as much as possible to really leverage these resources. So I know, for instance, the Cars for Neighbors program in Anoka area, when one of the the educational components they offer is car maintenance, and they've actually partnered with garages throughout Anoka County to offer that car maintenance class to their participants on a volunteer basis. So it's definitely allowable under the bill, and in fact, as part of their application to deed, organizations have to describe how they're leveraging those partnerships in the community to make sure these dollars go as far as possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Follow-up, Senator Nelson?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you. That's an excellent answer. Look forward to supporting.
Senator Pratt.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'm just kind of curious. Ms. Odegaard, I have the same information the chair does, that we granted $250,000 per fiscal year. Can you tell me what you're withholding for administration?
Ms. Odegaard.
Mr. Chair, sure. Senator Pratt, thank you for that question. The language specifies that deed can retain 5% for administering the grant program.
Senator Pratt.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair, and it doesn't quite make up the whole amount, but the difference between 200 and 250,000, but I think that helps. So, Ms. Odegaard, if I may, Mr. Chair.
Senator Pratt.
So you helped 400 families on $200,000, roughly $500 per vehicle. You're looking at, if we were to use that same amount, 4,000 families, if I extrapolate the math out to $2 million. Do you have that many in your queue already?
Ms. Odegaard.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator Pratt, I would have to ask some questions of my members to get you exact numbers, but what I do know, and of course not all the grantees are members of my coalition, although several of them have been. What I know is that the nonprofit vehicle programs that work with my coalition all have waiting lists. And so, for instance, I'm thinking about like the United Community Action. They were doing their work, they serve, I think, 9 counties in rural Minnesota. They were only offering this transportation service in 1 county until they got their Getting to Work grant, and then they were able to expand that to 3 or 4 counties. And so I think the idea is as these programs have more support, they're able to offer those services to a broader number of families. I don't have that exact number, are there 4,000? But I know that there are significant waiting lists for these programs.
And Ms. Odegaard, I noticed that from listening to Ms. McGregor, she talked about how there could be a loan and then it would be a balloon payment and those sort of things, and I'm not quite sure if I captured it all. But my 2 questions is, what's the interest rate for the loans? Number 1. Number 2, how much additional revenue is generated from the interest on the loans? Ms. Odegaard.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I may see if LaToya is still on because she got that loan. I believe at Kappa, Ramsey, and Washington, the loan interest rate is between 2% and 3%. If LaToya is still on, she may actually know that specific answer.
Let's see. Ms. McGregor, can you hear us okay? I see that you're still there, but I don't see your picture. All right.
Yes.
Can you answer the question, what is the interest rate of loans?
It's a 0% lease.
All right. And so there's no additional revenue that's generated from those loans?
No.
All right. Any other questions for the testifiers? Senator Nelson.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. The previous conversation with Senator Pratt's question about the fee for administration. Now, it's been a few years since I've been on the Jobs Committee, Mr. Chair, but my recollection was that usually those admin fees were at about 2%. And I'm just curious, and of course, things increase, but so does the ask. And so I'm just asking maybe, Mr. Chair, if you have any history, knowledge on what's a typical admin fee. I'd appreciate that input.
Yeah, thank you for that question. My understanding is sometimes been 2%, sometimes up to 5%. It varies. And so that's something that we as a committee will look at and figure out what we think would be appropriate for the work that is being asked of the agency or the entity that is requesting those funds. Thank you. All right, so any additional questions? Seeing none, Senate File 607 is laid over for possible inclusion. Thank you, Ms. Odegaard, and thank you to all the other testifiers.
Thank you.
All right, we are now going to Senate File 643. 30,000 feet. So they will come forward. And just as a friendly reminder, we are going to have Senator Herr give us a brief overview of the bill that is before us, and then the testifiers will be given 2 minutes each, and we'll be very strict on those 2 minutes, just because we want to make sure that we give everyone an opportunity to speak that's here with other bills. With that being said, Senator Hurd, thanks again and welcome again to the committee for Senate File 643. Even though you're on this committee, we're always happy to have you at the testifiers table. Senator Hurd.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senate File 643 would appropriate a total of $750,000 over 2 years to support youth apprenticeship jobs, wraparound services, after-school programming, and summer learning loss prevention effort targeting at African-American youth. 30,000 Feet is a St. Paul-based 501c3 nonprofit that offer 2 primary programs. The programs are Tech Geeks and Art Residency. Tech Geek is a technology apprenticeship program for high school age students that include coding, training, internship opportunities to African-American youth, with approximately 50% of job placement going to youth involved in the juvenile justice system. And the Arts Residency program serve youth aged 15 to 14 and seek to expand opportunity to have exposure to arts literacy support and African-American history. I also want to conclude that I appreciate Senator Pratt coming to my district to visit on a bonding mission, but it's the same organization that we're talking about here, and 30,000 Feet has been part of the Eastside Pride, and I've seen the work of Vanessa Young way before I served the Senate here. So with that, I ask members to support this legislation.
Thank you, Senator Hurd, for that brief overview. We're now going to go to Vanessa Young, who's the Director of Programs and Policies at 30,000 Feet. Welcome to the committee, Ms. Young, and introduce yourself for the record and begin with your presentation.
Thank you. I'm Vanessa Young, the co-founder and director of programs and policy at 30,000 Feet. I want to say thank you first to you, Chair Champion and Vice Chair Mohammed, for allowing me to address this body. And also congratulations to both of you for making history at the legislature. Also, thanks again to Senator Hurd, a true champion of all things East Side, and Senator Pratt for coming out. The importance of this bill is Minnesota ranks 50th, in regards to high school students taking AP computer science classes. The implications of that is high school students will not receive necessary prerequisites to pursue a computer science degree in college, in which computer occupations in Minnesota have an average salary of over $92,000, according to code.org. Minnesota currently has over 9,000 open computing jobs, and that's 2.9 times the average demand rate in Minnesota. According to state data in 2022, 48% of the Minnesota third graders scored as proficient on standardized reading tests, and that's down from 50% in the previous year. In 2021, fewer than 30% of African American, Indigenous, and Latino youth were proficient in reading, which is 50% less than the state average. Of course, reading scores were affected by the pandemic, in which now pediatricians are calling the decrease in reading scores alarming and imploring all those involved in K-12 education to act. The last 2 years, mental health workers have seen a rise in mental health issues among youth. Wraparound services are critically important as we get back to normalcy. Last direct allocation we received, over 35 youth ages 14 to 19 received coding academy certificates, which 3 of them have obtained 3 part-time jobs at Health Partners Mobile Web Development Department, 2 girls and 1 boy. And we also look forward to placing 5 more this spring. We also saw an increase in reading comprehension from our K-3 students that are a part of our arts learning program.
Thank you, Ms. Young. So you have a last line that you want to give us? Because I know you were giving us some proficiency info,
Yes.
but I'm trying to focus us on.
That was the last line.
Oh, that was it? Oh, that's.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I will yield to our testifier, Khalil, next,
All
if
right,
that's okay.
so-
I'll let you go ahead and introduce him.
All right, so I'll have to do it through the chair and then to that person. We don't yield usually.
Okay,
So,
sorry.
No problem. Thank you for being here. You were wonderful.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Jackson, if you identify yourself for the record and state where you're from and give us your testimony, and welcome to the committee. Mr. Jackson.
Hi, I'm Khalil Jackson. I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota. First off, I want to thank you to Chair Champion and Vice Chair Mohammed and Senator Herr for testifying today about my experience with 30,000 feet. I first heard about 30,000 feet from someone who was familiar with 30,000 feet. 30,000 feet provided me with the opportunity to learn a coding language while providing wrap services such as transportation, weekly check-in, and goal setting, and food support as needed. I am currently enrolled at St. Paul College for computer science, and I have come to enjoy learning about the computing field and the endless possibilities I will have post-graduation from St. Paul College.
All right, thank you so very much. And is this Josh Vargas?
Yes.
All right, welcome to the committee. State your name for the record and go forward with your testimony.
I'm Joshua Vargas. First off, I want to thank you, Chair Champion.
And if you'd be so kind as to speak right into that mic, because you have some important things to say, and we want to make sure that we're able to hear you.
I want to start off first off by saying thank you, Chair Champion and Vice Chair Mohammed and Senator Herr for testifying today about my experience with 30,000 feet. I first heard about 30,000 feet from my friend Khalil. I joined him on his first day of orientation. I was intrigued by what they were all doing. Eventually, after coming multiple days with Khalil, he convinced me, he convinced me to join him and participate. I was comfortable with the staff, and they were cool, and I was able to get a Code Academy certificate. I am grateful for my experience at 30,000 feet, and I am looking forward to my future.
Thank you so very much. And let me just state for the record how important it is for you all to be here, you young people to be here to testify in front of this committee. And you've been very eloquent, and we appreciate you being here. A couple questions for the authors. One, it appears, especially with Mr. Vargas being here, that even though in the language it says targeted at African-American youth, that is not exclusive to African-American youth, and if you can talk about that. And number two, how much of the request is needed to focus on job training and youth apprenticeship? Because I noticed that it has some other things like after-school programming and summer learning loss prevention efforts. So if those two questions can be answered, that'd be great. Senator Herr.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's important to focus our effort toward the underserved and underrepresented, underinvested. So, you know, I talked to my client here, 30,000 feet, and they want to put more focus on African American youth. Although I'm open, if we want to make it a little broader. They're all open door to serve everyone. But the organization felt that we're leaving a community that has been historically underinvested. So we want to focus on that front. In terms of the dollar, maybe I'll pass the answer to Ms. Young here.
Ms. Young, so if you could speak to that question about how much of the request is needed to focus on job training and youth apprenticeship, because before your allocation was $500,000, but now you're asking for $750,000. So there seems to be a $250,000 increased ask. Ms. Young.
Yes, so all of those dollars will be going to the apprenticeship program. We do plan to continue to double and increase our impact with the number of students that we've served. As I mentioned, we were able to get 35 youth to obtain a certificate. However, we did have over 500 applicants. And so we had to turn down a lot of young people, and a lot of young people needed a lot of more resources and time and energy that we didn't necessarily have to be able to kind of meet some of their needs. So we'd like to expand the programming to reach more youth.
Thank you. Any additional questions for the testifiers? Committee? Senator Pratt.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Senator Herr and Ms. Young. I really enjoyed visiting the site. I was able to share with the kids that I program in 4 languages. And, we talked a little bit about, kind of where the trends are going with machine learning and I don't know that we're going to get to AI yet, but certainly machine learning is becoming a very strong option. But I had a similar question to you, and I guess to Ms. Young is, I understand you want to be able to serve more kids, but I'm wondering about whether or not this is specifically for the coding piece, because I know you have arts and other types of programs that your literacy programs, which are all good.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of, I know that literacy is one of the keys to being successful in school, but, I'm just thinking of it as a jobs committee and maybe along the same lines as the chair. Is this specifically for the coding piece, or can you maybe give us a little bit more detail on your plans for the expansion?
Ms. Young.
Yes. So we do plan to invest some more dollars into the literacy piece as well. We want to double both numbers for the K-3 as well as high school programming. What we typically do is put the dollars where they're needed most, and then, I know that's probably not the greatest answer. It's a kind of okay answer, but it's still a bit vague. But we do secure dollars from additional funding sources to kind of make up a lack for areas that may be in need. So for example, our tech program does receive some funding support from philanthropy, whereas our literacy program may not receive as much, so we may move some dollars from one area to another to kind of suffice. If that's not appropriate, then we can redo our budget.
Senator Pratt, any follow-up?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I think, maybe we can talk offline about that.
Okay.
My second question is, when we were on site, you didn't really have the partnerships or apprenticeships set up. Can you maybe describe your progress in that area of establishing those relationships?
Ms. Young.
Yes, absolutely. So we are in the progress of working with 3 tech companies, Health Partners being the first one, who has taken on some of our young people as part-time and full-time interns, and looking to keep some of them on for long-term, and as I mentioned, are also looking forward to bringing on more people. KIPSU is another tech company that our young people are looking to do some job exploration in, so they'll be doing some job shadowing as they are working to continue to kind of vamp up their staffing so that they can bring in interns and bring in some more youth to come in kind of in the non-traditional route. Many of the tech companies initially were reluctant until we just kind of set up some time to bring the young people to their site, to do some mock interviews, which turned into real interviews. And then, we're able to find some positions for these young people to come in as kind of a non-traditional route. And our last relationship that we are kind of teasing out is Cargill. We recently received some funding support from them for a for our hybrid work for the Tech Geek program. So we are working to develop a learning management system which will allow the young people to work at their own pace for those young people who may not be on the east side or are unable to attend in person regularly due to other commitments. And so we're really looking to continue to explore that relationship with them to create some job opportunities there as well. And Best Buy, if you know anybody there, please tell them we're at them. They give us funding right now for the Tech Geek Support Program, but it's been a challenge to get some folks to kind of take a chance on some of these young people. So anything that you guys can do to support us with some of those corporations, if you have any elbows that you can rub, please do.
Senator Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, coding is the language of the 21st century, so that is a wonderful gift for any young person who gets the ability to learn how to code. So you guys are in a good spot. And then secondly, apprenticeships are really proven to be one of the best ways to get that training, whatever it is, into the workforce. So very good on those issues, highly supportive. I think I need to know just a little bit more. How many, I'll ask just a few questions so you to kind of tie that together for me.
That's fine.
You know, how many students do you serve? What ages? How long are they usually with 30,000 feet? And how long does it take to get a coding certificate?
Ms. Young, and it's my understanding, coupled under that, I think you said that you all got 35 youth that got coding certificates, but that doesn't tell us how many were served. And so if you could answer some of those questions, that'd be great. Thank you again. Ms. Young.
Absolutely. So of the 500 applicants, we had about 227 that went through the program last year. And that was, and you had an error when you said 15 to 14, I think. That was our high school youth that started off at 14. Well, actually, we had some 13-year-olds who kind of set the marker and applied anyways, and they were brilliant, and so we accepted them. So we had some youth from 13 all the way up to 21 that participated in our coding program last year with the funding. For our literacy and arts, we had about 40 young people who participated in that. We had about 80 applicants. And again, we don't necessarily have enough space or staff capacity, but we do know that there's a need out there. And so that's why we're here, you know, looking to get additional support from the state. But we were able to get about, I want to say about 30 young people that we're able to kind of sustain through our summer camp. And then for our after-school program, we have 20 for our K through 5, K to 3 learning. Summertime was K5, and then in the after-school is K3. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so the question is also, how long did it take the 35 youth who went through the coding program in order to get their certificate? Ms. Young.
Thank you. So youth take advantage of that program for a duration of 6 months. They can decide to learn one language over that 6 months, or they can continue another 6 months and learn another language. And so we're looking forward to young people like Josh and Khalil to learn various languages with us as long as they would like. So they have learned Python, JavaScript. We have some young people who have about 4 languages under their belt, which is almost equivalent to a kind of computer science degree where you have to, well, not necessarily. I know Senator Pratt's probably like, nah, but in order to have a computer science degree, you do have to have a number of languages under your belt. And so we allow young people to take advantage of that with us as long as they'd like. We don't necessarily tell anybody they have to go. We just kind of push them to the next opportunity if we can.
All right, any other additional questions for the testifiers? Seeing none, thank you so much. You want to wrap us up on this bill, Senator Herb, before I thank your other testifiers for being here?
I think this program with 30,000 feet is very, very important. We had heard in this committee about the semiconductor opportunity, and I know that 30,000 feet has already made solid partner as they progress from the day Senator Pratt visited my district to this day, but there's opportunity out there that, you know, we could be a pipeline. 30,000 feet can be a pipeline to the semiconductor companies that will be here in our state, whether it's Polar or other, you know, tributary of Polar that will be here. So I just want to encourage your support, and opportunity is here. And, you know, I'm glad to see young people here testifying. And this is I know 30,000 feet is recruiting young people, but at the same time, it's a word of mouth. As you see, the two testify here know each other, and that's how community are built. And I'm glad Senator Pratt mentioned about his experience in coding, and that's how we connected too. My background is in computer science myself, and at some point later in the future, should they decide to serve, you know, they could become state senator like us as well.
So thank you so very much, Senator Herr, and thank you to Ms. Young, thank you to Khalil Jackson and Josh Vargas. Thank you so much for your testimony. We sincerely appreciate you. Senate File 643 is laid over for possible inclusion. Thank you so much. Senator Herr, we're going to your last bill, which is Senate File 804, which is with the Neighborhood Development Center. And we would ask Ms. Dossman and Anthony Goes. you will be able to say it for the record once we get to you. All right, so Senator, so the file that's before the committee is 804. Senator Hurd, your opening comments about Neighborhood Development Center before we go to Ms. Dosman.
Yes, members, and thank you, Chair Champion. Senate File 804, what appropriate total of $7.9 million over 2 years to Neighborhood Development Center. Funding would support programs for small businesses, technical assistance, development of affordable and commercial space outside the Sun metro area, character-based loan capital, and emerging development assistance. NDC, a Neighborhood Development Center, has a 30-year track record in connecting low-income and minority entrepreneurs to the opportunities needed for success. NDC is a trusted community resource that is closely connected to the community, and they have developed a nationally recognized model for community economic development. Their model uses entrepreneur training, engaging in high-risk, high-touch lending, along with ongoing technical assistance that ensure businesses are successful while keeping their loan default rate low, around 2%. Members and Mr. Chair, I'd like to ask for your support of Senate File 804, and I also have here testifier from the organization and clients.
Thank you, Senator Hurd. We will go to the first testifier, Ms. Dosman. Will you state your name for the record and where you're from, and you can walk through what the request is.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Renee Dosman, President and CDO of the Neighborhood Development Center. I want to start off with gratitude to this committee. Thank you all. Thank you, Senator Hurd, for your support of NDC. For those of you who might not be familiar with NDC, we've been around for 30 years. We concentrate on 4 pillars, supporting low-income entrepreneurs of color. The first one being entrepreneur training and workshops. We do work with about 200 entrepreneurs in the spring and fall each year. We also do lending. We're a community development financial institution. We do loans based more on your character and your commitment to community versus your credit score or collateral. We've done about $2.9 million in loans this last year alone. The third pillar is business technical assistance, which we definitely could use some more support with. We did about 4,200 hours last year for technical assistance is what we call it. That's helping entrepreneurs with their marketing, branding, accounting, strategy, all of those things, as well as their technology. And then the last piece, which we're asking for additional support around as well, is related to our affordable commercial real estate. We have 5 incubators, our largest incubator being the Midtown Global Market that we co-own with the Cultural Wellness Center. And this ask is to help us start a program for entrepreneurs of color, developers of color. We're asking for additional. The difference about MDC, and I know my time's probably up, is that we actually support other organizations within the community. We've started many, and we do national work, as well as we are focused on our reach to greater Minnesota, as well as doing some projects in North Minneapolis with Jamil Ford and Baldwin Square. We get our research and data-driven approach from Wilder Research. So I am ready for some questions.
That's right on time. Thank you so very much. So I think I figured out, Mr. Gozi.
Yes.
There you go.
Correct.
All right. If you will give us, state your name for the record and who you're with, and give us your testimony.
Thank you, Chair Champion and Board. My name is Anthony Gozi. I'm owner and operator of a small business, Native Air Mechanical. I've been a small business owner in the Twin Cities for over 25 years almost. I'm kind of aging myself, but anyways, I've been a client, a graduate of the class from NDC, a client of theirs for 15 years or more, and I'm here to testify that their help for me and other small businesses that are like mine have been almost immeasurable. I can tell you from personal experience that I've provided livable wage jobs, hundreds in the last several years in the community, and recruitment of folks that otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to have, high-paying, livable wage jobs that just aren't familiar with the construction industry or things like that. So, and that I still currently I'm a client of NDC, and I know they do a lot of good for a lot of different people and businesses. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Here's my question. Senator Hur or for Ms. Dossman, I noticed that in the past, the appropriation has been $1.5 million. Now, this year that you're asking for more than $7.9 million. So I want to understand why the additional request for $6.4 million and what that $6.4 million is going to be used for. Ms. Dossman.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just so you know that in the past, our ask, like last session, was about 11 million, and that was related to, for this one, it's technical assistance and work that we want to do in Greater Minnesota. Our ask, just our operating ask, was 750 is what we received last year. This year, we're only asking for 800,000. The difference comes up in the technical assistance work that we want to do in Greater Minnesota, which is 150,000, and $1 million to do an incubator in Greater Minnesota. One-time funding for $2 million for loan funding so that we can do non-recourse loans. We do, the entrepreneurs that we support, it's riskier loans, as well as there's this huge opportunity that we're seeing and trends that we're seeing from the entrepreneurs around owning their own real estate. So we really want to invest this $3 million in an emerging program assistance fund for these entrepreneurs and developers of color that are starting their businesses. We're seeing that as a huge opportunity, and one of the opportunities, like I mentioned earlier, is on the north side with Jamil Ford and his Baldwin Square project.
All right, so any additional questions? Senator Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, I'm highly supportive of all the parts of the request, except there's one caution that I have. Perhaps I need to know more, but real estate is such a unique, I'm cautious about the $1 million for the real estate piece of this, and I'm just wondering if there's a different maybe place for that, or maybe you've given this some thought, but the real estate market is incredibly volatile and in great change right now, specifically, and while I think that is so important, I'm just wondering if a program through a bank or a lending institution might be more valuable, and I'm wondering if you have thought about partnering with any particular lending institutions to get to exactly where you want to go.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator Nelson.
Ms. Dossman.
How does this work?
Go ahead.
Okay. You just say that and then I go.
Just so you know, you can't just talk to her without me recognizing you.
Okay, right? That's why I said you first, and then, exactly. Okay, and then I go you and then her.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, I appreciate that.
No, you are more than welcome. Thank you. Ms. Dossman.
So I love that question from the standpoint of the ask that we're asking for the Developers Assistance Fund, just so you know, is $3 million. We're asking for $1 million for incubators on the in the Greater Minnesota space. We are partnering actually with some banks. We're partnering with U.S. Bank on a program that they have. This funding, if you think about the developers, understand that real estate's risky, but so is starting a business. The ask that we have is a lot for these entrepreneurs of color to get this seat at the table and to get access to funding that they wouldn't normally be able to get through a bank. You wouldn't be able to get pre-development funding through a bank necessarily, or to cover the gap, because sometimes when you do go to a bank, you have to have, a 20% down or 30% down. So we help cover the gap for that. We did our first construction loan with an entrepreneur that's located in Minneapolis, Chris Webley, and it's North Minneapolis as well. So it's to provide an additional layer of protection for those entrepreneurs. And risky or not, this is where it's moving after everything that transpired, wanting to own their own real estate. Now, where I can use the help and what we're asking for here is, to your point that it's different, is helping us get additional technical assistance so that we can walk them through the pro forma, so that we can make sure that this is the best investment that they can make.
Senator Nelson, as a follow-up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just briefly, so the $1 million is not for the real estate, that's a $3 million ask in another bill, or $3 million here?
Yeah. Yes.
$3
I'm
million
sorry.
here.
Ms. Dossman? So the $3 million that I think that she's referring to is on lines 2.1 to 2.4. That's the $3 million for, is for emerging developers assistance. I think that's where she's talking about the $3 million. Senator Nelson.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, I'll hold off on my questions. I think I've kind of made my point about perhaps where those partnerships might be helpful.
And Ms. Dossman, it looks like you were saying that there would be ask for $1 million for commercial space, and I think that's that incubator system that you're talking about. But how many businesses will incubate with you for $1 million? Ms. Dossman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To be honest with you, I'm not sure right now. This ask is for Greater Minnesota. So we're in partnership with the Initiative Foundation and other organizations that are in Greater Minnesota. We just actually met with the group from Moorhead. If you think about the global market, there's about 30 to 35 entrepreneurs that are served there. This is probably going to be somewhere south of there. So if you think about our incubator that's in the 809 building, the construction and trade, there's about 10 entrepreneurs in there. So I would guess that there's probably going to be about 10 to 15 entrepreneurs that we could support in those incubators.
And with the $1 million, it looks like it would also be for wraparound business services. So is that also technical assistance, but you also have a line for technical assistance in line 1.12 to 1.14?
Thank you,
Ms. Dossman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, that's correct. It would be for to provide training. The technical assistance ask as well is a separate ask for the technical assistance, but this would be to provide training and to help us do loans in Greater Minnesota.
But it looks like, Ms. Dossman, if you will, 1.12 to 1.14 says 150,000 for technical assistance for those partners located outside of this 7-county metropolitan area. Then also lines 1.16 to 1.18, where it also says for those outside the 7 metropolitan area, which is for wraparound services. And it sounds like wraparound services, as you define it in that area, includes technical assistance. Am I reading that correctly?
You are. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, you're reading that correctly. So there's different levels of technical assistance. So the one technical assistance that we're talking about for just Greater Minnesota is truly that marketing branding. There will be additional technical assistance if we were to work with developer, if you will, or an organization in Greater Minnesota that might be required in addition to those entrepreneurs that would be inside the incubator. The entrepreneurs for the 150,000 might not be inside this incubator.
All right, thank you. Any additional questions for the testifier? Thank you so much. Closing comments, Senator Herr, and then we will lay Senate File number 804 on the table for possible inclusion. Senator Herr.
Mr. Chair, I would just want to be sure that this is a good bill.
Thank you so very much, Senator Herr. Brevity is always good for the soul. Thank you so very much. Without any additional questions, Senate File 804 will be laid on the table for possible inclusion.
Thanks.
Senator Putnam, would you be so kind as to approach the testifier's table? And it looks like we have the President, Mary Swingle, who's on Zoom. So we'll let you start with your, oh, you're here. Okay. Oh, first. Maybe I'm reading our notes wrong. I'm so sorry about that. We're glad that you're here, though. So, Senator Putnam, when you are ready, before the committee is Senate File 686 for the Boys and Girls Club of Central Minnesota grant appropriations. Senator Putnam, when you're ready, you can give your opening statements, and then we will go to Ms. Swingle first, and then go from there. Senator Putnam.
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the committee. Senate File 686 does a lot of good things. The two main things that it does is, one, it increases our capacity for Boys and Girls Club to start a new space to do the same kind of vocational career work and mentoring that they've been doing in a new space in Way Park. And the second part of this is to establish a new facility to work on what that new facility would look like, which is involving collaboration between lots of great people doing good stuff in Way Park. Now, to the first question, just very briefly, a couple months ago, I got to visit the Boys and Girls Club in central Minnesota, and they had these incredible virtual reality kind of box things that you put on your head, and you could do virtual reality training in safety for a construction site. It was absolutely amazing, and this is the kind of work that they want to develop and extend to do in Way Park. And the second part of this program is for the longer-term vision of the work that they're doing here, and that's to establish something that I don't think has ever been seen in the state of Minnesota before. And that's a combined cop house, community outpost, Boys and Girls Club, and senior center all in the same place. Now, members, we talked about this a little bit before, about the role of mentoring in giving children, young people, not just the skills to get jobs, but the confidence and ambition to follow those dreams. My friends here are to tell you a little bit about how we're doing that in central Minnesota.
Thank you there, Senator Putnam, for those opening comments. We are going to Mary Swingle, who is the president and CEO of Boys and Girls Club of Central Minnesota. If you would be so kind as to restate your name and restate who you're from for the record, and then go forward. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am Mary Swingle, and I am the president and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Central Minnesota. Thank you, Senator Putnam, for allowing us this opportunity to testify today. To begin with, I'm not going to go into great detail on the Boys and Girls Club because I believe you probably are very familiar with that and our workforce programs that we have run through that, and we're extremely appreciative for your ongoing support of that. What I do want to talk about is the Waite Park Collaborative. Waite Park is a very unique community in that it is a very diverse community from your age, your race, religion, socioeconomic. It is also a very fast-growing community. What we are finding in the Waite Park area is it is actually an out-of-school and workforce development desert in the central Minnesota area because we have thousands of youth with no place to go after school to support their workforce and academic development. With that, we came up with the plan because they have a need for, we have the only cop house in the state of Minnesota in St. Cloud, and we partner with them closely with one of our St. Cloud clubs. Waite Park also has that need. So looking at bringing a cop house or a community outpost, as well as Waite Park has a very large and growing senior population that is looking for a place. They have no place to go during the day for physical exercise, gathering, things of that nature. When we put that together and we look at our workforce development needs, it creates an amazing opportunity for mentoring between our seniors and our police and our community. So that is where we're going with our Waite Park Collaborative.
All right, thank you so very much. You can tell I'm multitasking. I am now going to go to Fasa Omar, and correct me if I'm wrong, and state your name for the record and who you're with and your testimony. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's Faiza Omar. I am here to share a little bit of my experience to maybe provide some insight on how impactful this initiative can be. I work as the Great Futures Coordinator at one of our clubs in St. Cloud. My job is all about implementing programs centered around career exploration, building healthy relationships, and workforce readiness. I work with grades K through 12. Before I was a mentor with the club, I was actually a member at the club, so I relied heavily on the support of that our programs had to offer. Since there are no clubs, I'm also a resident of the Waite Park area. I've been a resident since 2012. I went to a club about 10 minutes away from where I live, which isn't a 10-minute drive. That's not terrible if you have transportation. There were no drivers in my house at the time. Luckily, my brother worked with the club at the time, so he was able to drive us when he was working. The problem is that when he was not on shift, we couldn't go and we couldn't receive received the support of the club. So I know that there are a lot of families in my neighborhood. I still live in Waite Park that would thrive off of the programs we have to offer. And I know that transportation and, those kind of logistics are getting in their way. And there are also young mentors in the Waite Park area like myself that are eager to take part in efforts like this to provide equal opportunity and support for the families in Waite Park.
Thank you so much for your testimony. We sincerely appreciate it. We're going to go to Jerry Bechtold. You were not originally on my list, but you're on my list now because you came to the table. If you state your name for the record and give us your brief testimony, that'd be great.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am Jerry Bechtold. I am with the Boys and Girls Club of Central Minnesota. And I just would like to start off, first of all, to thank Senator Putnam for putting this bill forward and to this committee for the great support that you have done for the workforce for the Boys and Girls Club across the entire Minnesota. What brings us here today is we would like to expand our operations to the Waite Park, like Mary and Faiza have stated. We have a Career Start program that we do with all of our youth. It starts with kindergarten and it goes through seniors in high school. And what we do is we give the youth an opportunity to explore different careers and opportunities of what they would like to do. And then we help them get on that path. So if they would like to be a doctor, we help them understand what it takes to end up in a career of that choice. Another thing that we do throughout our program is we want to help youth learn what they don't want to do. We don't want them to spend all this time thinking this is what they would like. So we do a lot of hands-on tours, speakers, and then we try to get internships for the youth. Like Senator Putnam had mentioned, we do have the virtual reality. We are working with a company right now. We have different careers opportunities for them to experience, and it is like hands-on. It is like you are truly doing it, and the youth are really involved in that. We usually use that with our 13 through 18-year-olds or through high school. So we want to be able to bring this opportunity to the Waite Park youth as well that don't have transportation to get to our current programs. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for your testimony. Now you have a couple of testifiers that will be online, and we're going to go to them before we have questions. So online we have David Bentrud, who's with Waite Park Police Chief who's with Waite Park Police Chief. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I sure can. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Thank you so very much. Thank you for being here.
Believe it or not, I'm in Bozeman, Montana, so.
Well, we're jealous. So maybe we should click him off now since he's in Montana.
Yeah,
all right. Hold on.
Mr. Chair. Sorry.
Hold on one second. You got to state your name for the record and who you're with, and then you can give your testimony. Thank you so much.
Yes, I am Chief Dave Bentrud. I'm Police Chief, Waite Park Police Department, City of Waite Park. And I've been in that role for 15 years, having been previously with St. Cloud Police Department. And it has been my experience working kind of the West Metro area of St. Cloud, is that for most of my time there has been a void of extracurricular or after-school type of activity for our youth. And Mary kind of alluded to that. Waite Park, just for context, is a smaller department. We are 22 police officers. Our resident population is only about 8,500, 9,000, but our daytime population is about 35,000 with all the commerce. We have 500 plus businesses. As Mary said, we are also, I believe, the most diverse city in the state as a percentages. 42% of our residents are non-Caucasian, mostly from East Africa, Hispanic, and other ethnicities. And so I have been very interested for many years in trying to develop some programming for our youth that will help them develop skills, give them some after-school activities, be it in the arts or athletics, mentor types of programs and services. And with our volume, we have over 11,000 calls for service. 80% of the people that we arrest do not live in Way Park. So we are very busy. We're dealing with sex trafficking issues. And so for us to be able to provide the programming for our youth, it is critical that we partner and collaborate with an organization like the Boys and Girls Club. And I am very excited about the potential for this. I appreciate Eric Putnam's support, Senator Putnam's support for a lot of the things that we're doing in central Minnesota. But again, thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Of this bill.
Thank you for being here. And yes, Senator Putnam has done an amazing job advocating for the area as well. We will now go to Patricia Welter, who is also with us on Zoom.
Yes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can. So if you would introduce yourself for the record and where you're from and give us your 2-minute testimony. And again, to any of the testifiers, if there's more you wanted to say but you didn't have enough time to say it in, please feel free to send us anything in writing and we'll circulate that information to the committee. Ms. Welter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Patricia Welter. I am a resident of Wake Park. And I'm really here today to talk a little bit about the needs of the community and the youth in Wake Park. Some of it has been alluded to, but I want to give you a little bit better picture of Wake Park. As Dave Ventrude said, we are a small town. We've got about 8,300, but we've had a large population growth over the last 10 years, a 24% increase. And that's continued, that is expected to continue. Growth is good, but it often kind of creates additional challenges and opportunities. Mary alluded to the fact that we've also become much more racially and ethnically diverse. Right now, about 10% of our population is Hispanic Latino, 23% are of color, and the greatest group within that is Somali and East Africans. Here again, change and new learning are good, but they create challenges and opportunities for us. A crucial factor that you need to be aware of is a household income. 23% of the population in Wake Park live below the poverty line. That's double the rate of the metro area and double the rate of the state of Minnesota. Per capita income is $25,000. Median income is $43,000. And it's no surprise that about 62% of the households in Wake Park rent. By contrast, in the metro area, that's 32%. Here's an important piece. 100% of the population under the age of 25 and over 85% of the ages between 25 and 35 are renters. Now, what that means is that that's where almost 1,800 of our youth under 18 and their families live. Finally, it's no surprise that our elementary school in Wake Park, where all the Wake Park youth attend, is a high poverty school. 79% of the students qualify for free and reduced, and over 50% are not meeting education standards.
So Ms. Welter, so you can give me one last line because your time has expired. So give me your closing line.
So adding to all the factors that Dave Ventrude has spoken about and I have spoken about, we believe that while the Wake Park Collaborative is not the answer, it is an answer for our youth, excuse me, and our senior citizens to thrive.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that rich dialogue. Now, any questions for the testifiers before I ask the question? All right. So it looks like there was an appropriation of $1.5 million before. Was that for a different Boys and Girls Club, or did you all have a prior appropriation?
Mr. President, I'll defer to my testifiers, but my understanding is that's for the entire system. It's not for this specific space. But Ms. Swingle, if you'd like to handle that.
Ms. Swingle?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, that is for the Minnesota Alliance. So the Boys and Girls Club of Minnesota will come forth to the hearings and will have their own bill for workforce development that will cover the entire state.
And Ms. Swindle, will that include your facilities, or will it not include your facilities?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, that would include the current facilities that we are operating as of now. So the bill that Mr. Senator Putnam has put forth is for bringing in a new collaborative. It's not just the Boys and Girls Club. It is a collaboration between the city, the police department, the senior community, and the Boys and Girls Club to provide additional programming, workforce development to meet the needs of those 500 businesses that need employers in the Waite Park area.
And Ms. Swindle, so the past appropriation for $1.5 million that went to the overall system included this program. How much was, it did not include this program because this is new, so the $313,000 is a new initiative. All right, and that will not be a part of the system-wide ask. Is that correct?
Mr. Chair, my understanding is currently the Boys and Girls Club of Central Minnesota has a couple spots in St. Cloud, but there's nothing at all in Waite Park. So this is a brand-new move, which is why we're doing it these ways. And the current, Ms. Fingal would say.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
And just so I'm clear, it looks like in lines 1.15 to 1.17, you're asking for $150,000 that doesn't go to the program in itself, but appears to be for planning and design. And so can you share with me why you're asking us for money for planning and design as opposed to that going through capital investments? Senator Putnam.
Certainly, Mr. Chair, it's an excellent question. The relationship between these two elements of the bill is one is we're putting the services there, and we're also trying to figure out how best to align them with other opportunities in Waite Park. So that $150,000 that we're asking for with the planning of the next phase of it is also about considering how the Boys and Girls Club programming that we're developing is going to interact with the Whitney Senior Center, for example, or with Waite Park Police. So it is not specifically about the physical space or the design of the physical space so much as it is coordinating programming would be my approach to answer your question. But again, Ms. Swingle might have greater detail to share.
So I see that Ms. Swingle saying, no, I think you did it just fine there, Senator Putnam. Any additional questions before we go forward? Senator Nelson.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. You asked part of my question. I just didn't get my hand up quick enough. I just want to know I would like to know who's included in the Boys and Girls Club of Central Minnesota. Is it just St. Cloud and a couple areas around there? What's your jurisdiction? How far does that go?
Ms. Swingle. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, it's Mrs. Swingle, not Swindle. I get called that a lot for the record. Please clarify. Yes, Central Minnesota Boys and Girls Club is St. Cloud. It would be the St. Cloud School District, the Sartell, Sauk Rapids, and the Sartell and the Sauk Rapids school districts. So that is the geographic area that we currently are serving. There are different Boys and Girls Clubs. Each Boys and Girls Club is its own entity across the state.
Thank you.
Any follow-up? Oh, nope, that is it. Any additional questions? Senator Putnam, closing comments before we lay this file on the table for possible inclusion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'd like to thank my co-authors, Senators Howe, Nelson, and Kupek. And just in closing, members, I'd like you just to imagine just for 1 second, 70-year-old senior who's lived their entire life in central Minnesota with a law enforcement officer and a 10-year-old Somali kid all playing video games together. That's just awesome. Learning about careers, learning about their futures, those three people hanging out together in the same room. Members, this is an awesome opportunity, and I ask for your support.
Thank you, Senator Putnam. Senate File 686 will be laid over for possible inclusion, and thank you to all the testifiers, both in person and those who appeared on Zoom. We appreciate you being with us. Members, we are now going to Senate File 921, Senator Gustafson, for the Minnesota Family Resiliency Partnership Appropriation. For expediency, we'll ask Ms. Keenan, who's the Executive Director of Life Work Planning Center, to sit beside our wonderful senator, and she's right there sitting next to you, Senator. All right, and we'll ask for opening statements from Senator Gustafson. Senator Gustafson to Senate File 921.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senate File 921 is a bill that provides an annual appropriation of $250,000 to the Minnesota Family Resiliency Partnership Program. It's an appropriation that will be administered by deed through the Adult Career Pathways Program. For over 40 years, the Minnesota Family Resiliency Partnership, federally known as Displaced Homemaker Program, has been a trusted pre-employment and family stabilization program across the state. It is the only program in the state specifically designed to help displaced homemakers address the unique barriers they face while they try to enter or re-enter the workforce as they navigate a very personal loss due to death, disability, or divorce from a spouse or a partner. According to the most recent data available, 60% of displaced homemakers served by the program were victims of domestic violence. Of the participants with a child support order, 75% were not receiving the support as ordered by the court. This program serves a population facing multiple barriers to self-sufficiency. 97% of participants identify as female. Participants are served through a combination of activities, including one-to-one self-sufficiency counseling, weekly workshop series that focus on life skills, needs assessments, and the creation of individualized action plan. They make it possible for them to begin their journey towards self-sufficiency. These services result in excellent outcomes, too. 97% of participants successfully complete the program by attaining the goals they have set at intake, which include completing the steps of their individualized self-sufficiency plan, pursuing a degree or certificate program, and/or becoming employed. And this is a greater Minnesota opportunity as well. Services are currently available in 51 of Minnesota's 87 counties, with locations based in Grand Rapids, Minneapolis, Mankato, Brainerd, Wade Park, Rochester, and St. Paul. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator Gustafson. We now go to Ms. Jean Keenan, who's the Executive Director of Life Work Planning Center, for her 2 minutes of testimony. Welcome, and say your name for the record, and proceed with your testimony.
Yes, my name is, can you hear me all right?
Move a little closer, that'd be great.
Are we better?
There you go, thank you.
Thank you, sir. My name is Jean Keenan, and I am a provider in the Minnesota Family Resiliency Partnership. Thank you for this opportunity, Mr. Chair and members, and I would also like to thank Senator Gustafson for authoring this bill. As stated, the Minnesota Family Resiliency Partnership is a network of 6 regional providers offering family stabilization and pre-employment services across the state. It is our goal to interrupt the downward spiral that participants often face after the loss of a family's primary wage earner. This wraparound program is offered at no cost to participants, all of whom are at or below 200% of the federal poverty guideline. We're very proud to say that our program is both inclusive and individualized. Some program participants are leaving same-sex relationships. Many are leaving unsafe relationships. 22% enter the program unhoused. Nearly a third of our participants identify as a race or ethnicity other than white. We help participants to develop essential transferable skills and effective job search strategies. Additionally, we provide direct support dollars to help participants overcome barriers that would impede their progress towards self-sufficiency. Finally, and most importantly, the program helps families to stabilize by providing holistic and trauma-informed care. Last year, those who exited the program as employed did so at an average wage of $17.16 per hour. Funding for the program is authorized by statute and administered through deed from a portion of marriage license and divorce filing fees. This structure was specifically designed for this program. We are currently working to update that statute. However, because there would be a lag between collection and distribution of funds to the program, we are requesting this modest direct appropriation as bridge funding. Thank you for supporting Senate File 921.
Thank you so very much. We're going to go to Zoom because we have one person on Zoom. We have Stacy Gordon, who's the past program participant. Ms. Gordon, are you there? Oh, I see you.
Yes, I am.
All right. Thank you and welcome to the committee. State your name for the record, where you're from, and then also give us your 2 minutes of testimony. Go forward.
Thank you. My name is Stacy Gordon. I'm a former participant of the Minnesota Family Resiliency Partnership Program. I had been in an unsafe relationship and knew for the safety of myself and my children, I had to leave. I moved to the Brainerd area not knowing anyone except for a few family members in the area. I didn't really have any support and felt lost. I was now a single mother of 4 young children and was desperate to be able to provide for my family and create stability in our lives. I found out about the program and enrolled. From the first moment that I met with the director, I was showered with love, hope, and support, something that had been very lacking in my life. I was provided a supportive environment for me to pursue my education and career goals. I attended and benefited from the various workshops and support groups, different activities and things we learned and discussed, such as grief support, self-esteem, goal setting, resume writing, job interviewing skills, communication skills, all of which were very helpful to me. Computer lab was extremely beneficial as it was a quiet space that I could go to work on my homework and look for jobs, as I didn't have a computer at home, and having 4 kids at home made it very difficult for me to get anything done. Because I lacked confidence and support, I felt like I did not belong in college, and this program helped me to assimilate into the world of academia at Central Lakes College. One of the biggest goals that this program helped me accomplish was getting my driver's license. I had a lot of fear and anxiety about driving. This had always been a significant barrier for me. My 4 children and I walked everywhere that we went, rain or shine, and though we did what we had to do, walking in the cold and such was just hard. I had little to no driving experience, and the program director gave me the gentle nudge to finally take that step and take my road test. With the support and the newly found confidence in myself that I could actually do it, I passed my test. I am now a confident, independent driver. We no longer have to walk to work or take a bus or cab or bother anyone for a ride, which is a huge freedom to us. I had no idea how big of an impact it would make on me and my family. I can also now happily say that I am a college graduate and I'm gainfully employed in a career that I love, where I can help and support others to reach their goals and provide for my children and grandchildren who I am also raising. I am so grateful for the services that this program has provided and for all the support I was given. This program has helped me in so many ways, and it has changed the course for my family forever.
Thank you so very much for that powerful testimony, and congratulations for being a graduate. We sincerely appreciate that. Any questions for the testifiers before I ask a couple questions? Seeing none, I recognize that in the past that this program got $450,000 and you are asking for $50,000 more. What will the increased amount appropriation do?
Mr. Chair, thank you. So
Yes.
our current request is for $250,000. And what happens is then that money is administered through deed. They've got their administrative costs and then divided equally among the 6 providers across the state. So it would amount to about $37,500 per program. And again, we're looking for bridge funding while we've been woefully underfunded for a long time, and we're working at a longer-term solution than a direct appropriation, although we have been very grateful for the past support and have tried to be good stewards of those dollars.
Any additional questions for the testifiers? Seeing none, last words by Senator Gustafson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This has been a program that has been successful and has proven to be successful for many years, so I ask for everyone's support so they can do the good work necessary to help those in Minnesota.
Thank you so much. With that being stated, Senate File 921 will be laid over for possible inclusion. Thank you so much, Senator Gustafson. Members, we are now going to Senate File 289, and we are asking Senator Murphy to join us at the table, along with Andrew Peterson and Bethany Gladhill. After Senator Murphy, who will appear with us, give her opening statements, and we will go to Andrew Peterson for his 2 minutes, and then to Bethany Gladhill for her time as well. Senator Murphy.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members. I'm Erin Murphy, and I'm really happy to be here today to talk with you about Senate File 289, which is a proposal to make an investment in a project called Film North. Film North is in the cultural corridor that we are building and refer to in St. Paul, which is along University Avenue, just as we head into Minneapolis. It's a beautiful, newly developing, very vibrant part of the city. Film North is a an emerging project in that area. It was in the district I represented until we drew new lines. And it is now going to be in Senate District 66, represented by Senator Umar Verbatim. But I am authoring this bill this year, as I did last year, in support of the effort, and I'm really happy to be here today to present it with my testifiers, and I'd like to turn to them, Mr. Chair, if that is okay.
Senator Murphy, anyone in particular? I think we did say Mr. Peterson first. Is that okay? Or are we going to Bethany Gladhill first?
Mr. Chair, it would be great if we could start with Ms. Gladhill.
Ms. Gladhill, welcome to the committee. If you'd be so kind as to state your name again for the record and who you're with, and go forward with your testimony.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. My name is Bethany Gladhill, and I'm the Business Director for Film North. Very pleased to be with you here today to speak just a little bit about the building itself before Andrew goes into some of our programming. The building is an adaptive use of a historic Clarence Johnson designed warehouse. He designed more than just fancy houses on Summit. Turns out he designed a beautiful warehouse in 1930 as well. It is a $12 million adaptive use. It will be 60% funded from new market tax credits and historic tax credits, and then we are raising the other funds for the project. It will be a film education center, keeping Film North in this neighborhood and also bringing in DO architects, which are architects for the building, as well as other creative offices on the second and third floors. Andrew will go into a little bit about our programming, but this will be a unique partnership between Film North, which is a 501c3 organization, and DO architects that will keep it on the property tax rolls, and it is a shovel-ready project. So we're very excited to get going with it.
Now we will go to Mr. Peterson, Executive Director of Film North.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I am Andrew Peterson. I'm the Executive Director of Film North. I've been here for a little over 10 years and working in the film industry my entire professional life. Film North was founded in 1987 and is the largest filmmaker service organization in the upper Midwest and one of the largest and most successful in the country. We serve our community through education and professional development for Minnesota's creative economy. While we're based in St. Paul, we serve the entire state. We do this through our after-school programs, continuing education in the art, business, and technology of media arts, seminars, workshops, and professional development programs that train people to enter this $192 billion industry. We reach over 10,000 people per year through our youth programs and education. Many of those are kids. 60% of those are kids of color. 80% qualify for free or reduced lunch. Our professional development programs, training and placing people on film sets and preparing them to enter Minnesota's creative economy in the larger $192 billion industry I mentioned before. In Minnesota, those larger companies are Target, Best Buy, 3M, Mayo Clinic. They all have in-house media divisions. But most are small business owners with under 10 people working for them, and we have over 300 of those businesses in the state that are looking for creative job seekers to join the ranks. An example is some examples just to throw out there. Michael Starbury is a filmmaker who, when we started working with him 10 years ago, had no credits to his name. He was a 2019 Emmy nominee and has now got projects set up at organizations around and platforms around the country. Within the Native American field here, we have some really exciting stories. Again, filmmakers that we started when they were young and had no credits to their name. Lyle Mitchell Corbijn Jr. debuted his first feature film at the 2021 Sundance Film Festival and was nominated for 4 Independent Spirit Awards. Winona Wilms is now working for HBO, Amazon, and others, all from Minnesota. And Leah Hale is a great filmmaker whose most recent film, Bring Her Home, documented the issue of missing and murdered Indigenous women in Minnesota. Our new space is not just for Film North. It is an asset for for other organizations and educational institutions. For instance, Film North is partnering with Augsburg College to create accredited programs for the associated colleges of the Twin Cities.
Mr. Peterson, will you be so kind as to wrap up? Because I think you're saying some of the things that your previous testifier talked about.
My apologies.
And we wanted to make sure we could avoid that as much as possible. So I'll give you a minute to sort of wrap up. If you'd be so kind, that would be great.
Absolutely. And we are lifting up other BIPOC and underrepresented-led organizations like the Arab, Hmong, and Indigenous film festivals to provide an infrastructure and a steady home for them to present their programs. Thank you.
Thank you to the testifier. Any questions for the testifiers? And just so you know, members, the reason why this bill is before us is because they're asking for DEED to be the recipient of the funds. So it really is going to go on to capital investments where they're going to have a robust discussion about it as well. Senator Draheim.
Thank you, Chair Champion, and thank you for bringing this bill forward, Senator Murphy. I guess my question has to do with the use of the building. So I brought up a picture of it. It looks like it's 3 stories, 24,000 square feet. Is there a part of it that's like a warehouse that would be used for actually shooting films with a tall ceiling and whatnot? Because by the picture, it looks like just a normal 3-story older building.
And so, Senator Draheim, would you like Senator Murphy or Mr. Peterson or Ms. Gladhill to answer that question? Or is there any one of you who feels much more comfortable? Mr. Peterson.
Thank you. It is being creatively redesigned on the inside in accordance with SHPO regulations, and there will be a 54-seat indoor cinema, and a matching outdoor cinema, and production spaces, classrooms, editing rooms, and production facilities with the proper ceiling height. It won't be a sound stage, as you might, if you've seen like Paisley Park. It won't have that, but we do envision down the road a phase 2 that expands and creates that space. But for our purposes and within educational uses, we currently have a space, and these are all going to be bigger spaces. So we know that they'll be of great use in the production of film.
Any follow-up, Senator Draheim?
Yeah, thank you.
Senator Draheim.
It's not a historic building, I take it, then, if you're going to do a bunch of demo inside, then?
Mr. Peterson?
Yeah, everything is in line with SHPO. It is the cinema and the spaces. A lot of our production spaces, a lot of people love film organizations because we love windowless interior spaces. So the production spaces in the basement, which has the least sort of historic regulations around it, that's where a lot of the production in the classroom spaces are. The cinema, you'll enter on the ground floor and then go down into the basement as you would at the Walker Arts Center.
Thank you.
All right. Any additional questions? Senator Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So my question is, if it is a historic building, and if it is, I'm assuming because you're following SHPO guidelines, I'm assuming it is a historic building, and I want to know if you'll be eligible for the historic tax credit.
It looks like Ms. Gladhill.
Thank you. As well as my work with Film North, I'm actually certified with the Secretary of the Interior Standards in historic preservation. So I've been taking the lead in this project. It's a kind of sweet spot for me. We were one of the last projects in the state to receive historic tax credits at the end of last session. I believe we received them on June 28th. So Part 1 and Part 2 have been submitted through the State Historic Preservation Office and are in accordance, and we're moving along apace with that.
Thank you.
Senator Nelson, follow-up?
Yep, just a quick follow-up. And
Senator Nelson.
I thought I heard also the film tax credit will be used as well. And I might have misunderstood. Senator Murphy, did you say that the New Markets tax credit will be used as well?
Senator Murphy.
Mr. Chair, Ms. Gladhill was talking about the funding sources, so I'd like to turn to her.
Ms. Gladhill.
Thank you. This is a combination of new market tax credits and the historic tax credits will be funding this building. Because it's not production itself, it won't be using any of the film tax credits.
Senator, do you have a follow-up?
I do,
Senator
just a quick
Yes.
follow-up.
Senator
Thank
Nelson.
you. I misunderstood that. I thought film tax credits would be used. Then the last thing just to note is Minnesota does not yet have a new market tax credit, but of course the federal government does. And there is a new market tax credit proposal that will be getting a hearing in the tax committee tomorrow.
Anything else, Ms. Gladhill or Mr. Peterson, to that, or that's just a statement, Senator Nelson?
Mr. Chair, I'm just thinking it might be helpful moving forward, that there might be one additional tax credit that might be helpful as well.
All right, that's FYI. There you go. Thank you, Senator Nelson. So you come to the Jobs Committee and you're going to get all sorts of great information. Senator Pratt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I guess one of my questions is for you before I go to the testifiers. This is an appropriation from the general fund, but you said it would be going to the Capital Investment Committee as well?
Yes.
Okay. And then, Mr. Chair, and to the testifiers, there's a bit of language here I'm not used to seeing, and a one-time appropriation available until the project is completed or abandoned. And I guess my question is, why would we expect this project to be abandoned, and what happens if it is?
To the testifier, which one wants to answer that question?
It was
Mr. Peterson?
Oh, thank you. We have no intention of abandoning. We've been in business for 35 years and are healthy and anticipate being there for many, many more. It was language that we were encouraged to use as sort of a standard boilerplate.
Yeah, it does look like you don't have not much confidence in what you're doing if you say or abandon. So I just think that you might want to think about that. Senator Pratt.
Happily strike it.
All right, seeing no further questions, remember this is going on the capital investments, and Senator Mohammed has a motion.
Chair Champion, I refer that we pass Senate File 289 and we refer it to the Committee on Capital Investment.
Any discussion on that motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. No. The motion prevails. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members.
Thank you.
All right, members, thank you so much. You see the time? I am still giving you back 16 more minutes in your day. So you should be enthusiastic about my gift to you today. So with that being said, I want to thank all the testifiers and everyone who appeared with us today. Thank you, Senator Mohammed, for the motion. Members, that concludes our business for this meeting. We have a full agenda on Wednesday. If I can encourage you to get here so we can start promptly at 12:30. And thank you. The committee is adjourned.